Hello, it's Madam again. And how's your night? Mine's superb because guess what? I got Rick McCallum, and he is a legend in film, and he's going to tell us some cool stuff, I think, about inner investigating at the Tate Mansion, the whole Charles Manson stuff, way back when. A lot of you guys probably haven't even heard anything about it. So this will be a good opportunity to learn some history. So here, I'm going to bring Rick into the broadcast. Hey,
Oh
how
my
you
goodness.
doing tonight?
What the heck is that?
What?
You trying to scare all your watchers away? Criminy.
No, we'll get some watchers. There's nobody yet, but hey, it's all good. They'll
Well,
see
I'll
it.
just talk to you then.
Yeah, just pretend it's just the two of us, and we're just having a little conversation about life, and you're telling me about yourself. So, how did you get started in film and like doing? You're a stuntman, really, originally, weren't you?
Yeah, actually, I was. I started. First movie I was ever in was in 1982,
Okay.
and I was only 3 at the time.
Right,
Um,
right.
it was called Lone Wolf McQuade. It was a Chuck Norris movie.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I've heard of that one.
yeah, I got beat up and actually ended up meeting my best friend then, Kane Hodder, the guy who plays Jason Voorhees,
Oh
and
wow. Okay.
we have done since then 30 movies together.
Oh wow,
And
that's a lot.
we also have a ghost hunting group, which is called the Hollywood Ghost Hunters.
Sweet.
And there we are.
Oh nice. There's three of you guys then.
Well, there's a bunch of us, but it's generally
Okay.
the 3 of us that most people know.
Okay, cool. Do you guys do a show, or do you just
Well, we've
go
done shows.
investigating and that's it?
Well, we've done shows. We were on Ghost
Yeah.
Adventures. We've done other stuff. I've done
Okay.
other stuff. Kane's done a movie about ghost hunting. We do other things. We've been offered shows, but the problem is those guys are way too busy making movies.
Oh yeah, I
So
suppose. Well, and it's fun to make movies, isn't it?
sometimes
Yeah.
when you're the
Sometimes it's just
stunt,
work,
when
right?
you're the stunt guy, sometimes not so much.
Well, tell us
Everybody's
about
over there
the
having a
time you were
pina colada.
tell us about the time you were the werewolf.
Oh, that was a movie called Dark Wolf. And actually, what was really strange is it was half the time it was a human, half the time it was the wolf. I was the wolf. Kane was the human.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So we were in there, and I did a stunt in there, boy, that you talk about getting slobber knocked. That was this one. You can always tell when a stunt's going to be really dangerous when all the crew and the cast come out to watch. 'Cause usually they don't bother to watch, but when they all show up, it's they think you're
I
going
thought
to get
maybe
hurt.
it was when they all kind of move away.
Well, that too. No, when I went out to do this stunt, I was in the wolf suit, and I jump on the hood of this car, and it takes off going backwards and doing this, and I'm bashing the windows and everything else, and then it does a snap, like cracking the whip,
Uh-huh.
and throws me off. And there were two rows of barrels, two wide and two high,
Yeah.
of steel 55-gallon drums.
Oh wow.
Now I'm going over 20 miles an hour when I hit those barrels. They just throws me off and went in head first and shoulder first and just boom, 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 just all through it, hit the ground. The funny thing was I felt one of the barrels, they were flying around like bowling pins. And I felt one of them come up and the edge of it hit me in the side of the head and hit me in the ear. And as I flipped over, I landed on my lower back on the edge of another barrel. And that threw me off on the concrete. So I'm like, oh boy, that hurt.
Yeah, knock the wind out of you a little bit.
No, not the wind, just the stuffing. But anyway, I rolled out of the thing because they didn't want to see the wolf in the picture as the car drives away.
Oh,
And then they yell cut. The director, who's one of my best friends too, he comes running over, and another friend of mine who's in my ghost hunting group. Matter of fact, both of those guys are Robert Pendergraft, who's the special effects guy. He comes running over, and I'm laying on my back, and they come to take the mask off and everything, and I'm just laying there, and I was kind of whoa.
Yeah.
And they're pulling it off, and my friend Richard comes up and he goes, "How are you?" And I said, "Well, I'm up to my waist so far, and I'm okay." Right? And as he pulled the thing off, you could see blood coming out of my ear. And they're all
Oh,
thinking, oh, he's got a
that's
brain
no good.
hemorrhage and stuff. And they're going, oh, you all right? And I said, barrel hit me in the ear. It's cut. So they looked and they said, yeah, you got a cut in your ear. And I looked up. I'm still laying on the ground. And I looked up at Richard, the director, and I said, will you please say those 3 little words that I want to hear? He looks at me and he goes, what 3 little words? And I went, perfect, moving on. That means that scene's done. We're going to the next one. So Dark Wolf was an interesting movie. I mean, it had a lot of really good people in it. Tippi Hedren was in it. I mean, she's a horror
she
icon.
was in The Birds by Alfred Hitchcock's Birds.
Yeah,
that was a good movie too. She was great in that.
Yeah, so, there was a lot of good stuff. It was funny when I was going out to jump on the car. One of the actresses runs up to me and she goes, "Are you going to get hurt?" And I went, "Yeah." She goes, "How bad?" And I go, "Let you know in a minute." And ran over and jumped on the roof of the car.
Have you? How many broken bones have you had?
None.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. So you really know how to fall and how to
you kind of got to know how, or you're going to get broken bones and stuff.
Right.
No, you're going to get hurt. I mean, it's part of the business. When you're falling downstairs, you're hitting stairs. I mean, you're going to get hurt, right? But you don't want to get injured.
Right.
Pain you can take. Something that knocks you out of commission is not good.
Right.
So
right.
It's part of the business. I did a movie called Project Metal Beast.
Yeah.
And once again, that rat Kane Hodder was in it. He was playing this big metal beast, and I was doubling for Barry Bostwick.
Okay.
And I come walking out, and Kane says, "All right, here's what we want to do. I'm going to smack Barry, and he's going to go flying. What can we do?" And we got a cement floor. We're at a water filtration plant, right? And they had those big steel roll down like garage doors.
Yeah.
So I ran and I jumped up and I hit it with my shoulder and it knocked me back about 3 feet. And I went, okay, this will work, right? So I walked over to Kane and the director was standing there and I said, how about we do this? I said, you put the camera right here. I'm going to put my mini tramp out here about 10, 12 feet away. And Kane goes, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to run as fast as I can, go upside down, backwards, and hit that wall over there.
Oh, wow.
And he goes, what are you going to land in? I said, I'm going to land on the concrete. And he just looks at me like, what? Right? Because I was expecting, to be able to use my elbow pads and my knee pads when I came off the wall because I was going to get kicked back towards my side. Well, it turns out one of the funny things was I looked over before I started to run and Kane was standing there talking to 2 younger guys. And they yell action. I just go sprinting as fast as I can, hit this thing. I go flying upside down and hit that wall so hard that the wall went backwards. And I didn't get a kick. I went straight up and down onto my head on the concrete. Right? Boom. I was about 3 feet high, about this high.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. And I landed on my head on the concrete. And I knew my face would be facing the camera. So as I hit the ground, I spun so that when I would fall on my side, I'd be facing away. So they would couldn't tell it wasn't Barry. Right. So they come over and Kane helps me up and I'm standing and he goes, did that hurt? And I said, of course it hurt, you damn fool. I landed on my head on the concrete. Right.
Right.
So he says, you're sure you're all right? I said, yeah. So they grab me and they throw me into this big pile of torn up metal. And I go flying through that. I'm like, and this is my best friend and he does things like this. Right? But later on, I asked him because I looked after I did the thing. I saw the 2 young guys walking away. And I looked at him, I said, who are those guys and why were they walking away? And he goes, well, they wanted to be stuntmen. They don't now.
And they watched you do that stuff, and then they're like,
no. I'm going to be a garbage man, So,
yeah, it might be safer,
Yeah.
So, were you, when you were a kid, were you the kind of kid that I'll jump off that roof?
Yeah. Actually, my dad always told me from the time I was 3, he knew I'd be a stuntman.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he took me I think it was a John Wayne movie. Him and my mom, we went to a matinee, and they had a scene there where they were had one of those big covered wagons, and it went off a cliff and into the water. So when we got home, we had a split level house, so there was a staircase inside the house. And my mom and dad were sitting on the couch watching TV, and my dad says, "I see you barreling ass around the corner in your little pedal car." He says, "You're aiming right for the stairs." He says, "I know what's going through your mind. You're the wagon, right?" He says, "And I chased you and I almost caught you." He says, "I got there just in time to see you clear the entire thing of the stairs and land face first and car first onto the landing, and boom, 2 black eyes.
Oh,
Right?
oh, geez.
But he always said,
Wow.
yeah, we
Well, that
already
was
know it.
just, you got over the black eyes, and
Eventually.
then, yeah, it's no big deal. So,
I found a few more along the way.
oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. Yeah, you were the guy. Were you the guy? Hold my beer, and you go try something crazy.
Yeah, we used to jump off roofs and out of the hay lofts and things like that.
Oh yeah, the
So that,
hayloft.
yeah, hay lofts are fun. Jumping down
Oh,
into
they
the
are
hay.
fun. Yeah, I'm
That
a
makes
farm girl, so.
By the way, tip for all you people like jumping out of the thing and into the hay:
Mhm.
make sure the pitchfork's not in there.
Good call. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good call. I wanted to ask you. We were talking about on the messages earlier about the Tate Mansion, which was Charles Manson, his people. That was part of what they did. And they killed. Was it Sharon Tate? Right.
Well, they killed 5 or 6 people. They carried. Let me think.
Right.
Let me.
Mhm.
Let me.
At that mansion, right?
It wasn't a mansion. It was a mansion where they were killed. But
Uh-huh.
the Tate House is not, David Omen's house. They call it the Tate House.
Yes, Omen, David Omen. Yeah, somebody was telling me that was.
That's
his
not
name.
where they got killed.
Oh, it wasn't.
No, it's about 75 yards away was the mansion. Where they got
Okay.
killed. And they tore that whole thing down. And
wow.
David was building his, so people think that maybe the spirits just went to the next house that was available.
Maybe.
I don't know. I've never been
Maybe
dead
hang
yet, as
around.
far as I know, so I can't tell for sure.
Yeah.
But let's see, there was Sharon Tate,
hmm
Jay Sebring, Abigail Folger, who was the heir to the Folger coffee fortune,
Oh wow.
Wojtek Frykowski, and
Mhm.
a guy named Stephen Parent.
hmm
And Stephen Parent is the one that I feel the most sorry for because he was 18
Oh
and
yeah.
he had met these guys down. He was like a barista.
Uh-huh.
And he was talking. He said, I'm trying to raise some money. I want to sell my transistor radio. So they said, well, come on up to the house. We'll buy it. Right.
Oh sure. Why
Yeah.
not?
So he
I'm the
pulls
heir
up.
to the Folgers coffee,
Well,
fortune.
Sharon Tate and Wojtek Frykowski and Jay Sebring were not exactly poor either. They were all
Right.
rich.
Yeah. Sharon Tate was an actress, right?
Yeah. Yeah. She
Yeah.
was very good. Matter
And
of fact.
wasn't she expecting when she got killed
Oh, yeah.
as well? Yeah.
Yeah, very much so.
If I were her, I would definitely be haunting somewhere and kind of pissed off about that,
Yeah, and she does show up there. I've been there many, many times. David's a friend of
Yeah.
mine.
Well,
And
tell me about it. Tell me about one of your investigations there where you found some stuff going on.
Well, I got to tell you, there's so many times, so much stuff that if you ever go to his house, he's got cameras in every room, microphones in every room. He can sit in his office and see everything going on because he has a lot of ghost hunts there. It's a very famous place. Well, I'd gone up there with a bunch of my guys long before it was real famous. It had been on Ghost Hunters a couple times, so it'd been around. And that place is just flat out bizarre. But when you go there for the tour, he says you go in, he gives a little presentation, he shows all this evidence. And a bunch of it is stuff I caught. Right? I was watching this thing. I was like, David, that's all my stuff. And he goes, I know. And I said,
does he at least give you a shout out, like credit for that?
He does all the time. He's really good about it.
Okay.
Matter of fact, here, I'm going to read you something. I wrote
Okay.
this book. I don't know if you can see it. It's called Ghosts Believe in Me.
Okay.
And on the back, I decided to let people say something about me to maybe make you want to read the book. And what David says, Rick shows up with just a little case of equipment. He gets just as much as any of the big TV production companies. So, yeah, I've been up there many times, but it is very haunted. One of the scariest things that I heard, one of my guys, Robert, the same guy that took the thing off my head, Robert's like 6'5" or 6'6", and at the time he was like a little over 300 pounds. He's a monster. We were all downstairs, and Chris Moon, I don't know if you him. Chris Moon's very, very famous for using the Frank's box. Stone Haunted Times magazine. Anyway, he was there. They were doing an article about us, and we were all down in the basement. And there's a spiral staircase at the end, right? And we're all down there, and all of a sudden we hear everybody's downstairs, nobody in the house. We hear boom, 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 going all the way across the floor. Now
Yeah.
there's like 14 people in this room altogether.
Uh-huh.
The prank spot, and everybody you could see on the video goes, right, because everybody heard it. And Robert was over by the thing. I said, Robert, go see what that is. Right now, Robert's fearless. You know, he's like a Sasquatch. Right?
Bring it on.
So anyway, he goes upstairs and he comes back down. And as he comes down, I have to cut this piece of tape out and put it up there. As he just comes back down the thing, you hear what sounds like somebody jumping and stomping with both feet as hard as they can, going boom, 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 all the way down. So he goes, so he goes running down, and I go running all the way up to the top floor, and I'm looking around. There's nobody there, right? So I asked Robert. I said, Robert, what happened? Right? He goes, not going to believe me. I said, tell me. And the second floor hallway is the most haunted place in his house by far, right? Robert says, when I got up there, I heard the footsteps going back towards the washroom, you know, the washing machine and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So he says, all the way at the other end of the hall, he says, so I followed it, right? And I stopped at the laundry room, right? He says, and I'm looking around, and I hear somebody run down the hall right behind me, like something had lured him into a trap. So that was, that was pretty interesting.
Yeah. But did anything actually happen? Did something
no, that was no, they didn't get him. I think they went up to him and went, no, look at some of them little guys downstairs. But
oh my gosh,
me and Robert were standing there that same night, and I felt somebody walk across the floor in front of me. You could feel the floor going, you know, the footsteps.
Right.
I look over and it's walking towards Robert, and behind that there's this earth room, they call it. It's all dirt. Right, he's got a furnace and it's dirt in there.
Right.
And I'm wondering if it's going that way, and I'm looking to see if it's going to go by Robert. And Robert goes, right, because he felt it too.
Yeah.
So right then we heard noise on the outside of his house. It's like 3 stories high. He's got these steps outside.
Yeah.
And I have to describe them. They're like this slab of concrete. You can see under there. You know, they're not solid. They're just slabs.
Oh, okay.
And we heard this outside. Right, walking down the thing, and I said, "You're there, Robert?" He goes, "Yeah." So we go outside, and he goes downstairs, right? Because it goes down and around, and I'm standing there, and it's fall, so there's leaves everywhere, right? Yeah. And I'm standing there and waiting for Robert to come back up, and I'm looking down that way, and I hear behind me, crunch, 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 coming down the stairs. And when it got about 3 stairs from me, I just turned around, and it went crunch, crunch, and stopped on the stair right in front of me.
Oh boy!
And I just stood there looking, and I didn't know Robert was coming up the stairs. Right, and I'm looking right there, and I went, "Hi." Robert starts cracking up. He goes, "Yeah, I heard the footsteps too." I said, "Oh, they're real loud, just right behind me, coming down the stairs."
Oh my gosh! Wow!
But like I say, that place was very haunted, very haunted.
That's pretty creepy. Yeah, for sure. I'd be creeped out, and I'm sometimes it's probably hard not to just like want to, you know, turn and run the other way, but you know, you got to stick with it because that's why you're there, right?
Well, there's only one rule. You know? There's only one rule in the Hollywood Ghost Hunters. If you run, you're done. I'll throw your ass out if you run away.
Well, yeah, because that's why you're there. You know, you came to find something, and if you find something, you sure as hell can't run from it.
Well, you see some of these shows on TV. They spend $50,000 to get the guys over to Vlad the Impaler's castle.
Right.
They're tip-top, and I'm not picking on any single one. I'm just making an analogy here. They're, going like this, and all of a sudden something appears, and they're like, whoa, 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 and off they go, right?
Right. It's like, why did you come here?
So exactly. Dude, weren't you clear on the concept? Didn't anybody give you the assignment for this? You're ghost hunting, not go see a ghost and run away.
Oh, so okay. We got a couple of comments here. Let's see. From Jeremy York, he says, you got stories he wouldn't believe. And also says, finally had the pleasure of meeting and investigating with Rick over the weekend.
We did at the old Paulding jail. And it was good to meet Jeremy.
See anything or find anything?
Yeah, we did. We did have some stuff. So we were split up in groups, so some groups might not have got some of the same stuff other people were, but there was a lot of stuff that was really cool. And one of the things, I think Jeremy saw part of this. Lori Dorsey, who is really good with the SLS camera, and is a very good friend of Kat Hobson, who I am also a friend of hers.
Uh-huh.
And she was on Portals to Hell from what happened to her in that show, where she was in the second floor, I think it was second floor jail cells. And all of a sudden, all the jail cells, but the doors weren't actually moving, but you could hear slam, 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 slam.
Oh my gosh.
And so they had interviewed her about that on Portals to Hell.
Mm-hmm.
But I said, or maybe Lori did, I don't know. But one of us, we were sitting there, we said, let's go, live stream and talk to Kat, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we go into the same cell,
mm-hmm.
and I'm sitting there with my K2 meter, which has not done anything, right?
Right.
And we get FaceTime with Kat, and
Mm-hmm.
Kat starts talking to the spirits, and the thing starts responding every time she talked. Right?
Oh wow, cool.
It's going 3 and 4 lights, and we would stop, and it was so funny. It was, it's answering every single thing, and she goes, "So you're not afraid of the ghost hunters, are you?" And all the lights went off, and nothing. It would not talk to us for like maybe 2 minutes, and she goes, "No, they're not ghost hunters. They're here to communicate with you. That's what I'm trying to tell you. They're nice people." And there goes like 3 lights and 4 lights. But I've never seen a long distance ghost hunt. And somebody walked up next to me, and I think it was Jeremy, but I'm not sure, who actually saw some of that. But
he said he was with Kat's group. Here we go. I can show you the comment there. There we go.
Yeah. Actually, Kat wasn't there. Kat was down in Alabama. She was.
Well, he said it wasn't near her during that particular time.
Well, none of us were because she was in Alabama.
Okay.
She was actually live on the phone.
Oh, and live on the phone. Yeah, she was on video chat. Did you ever on video chat?
Yeah, that's why it was so amazing that this thing was responding to her voice on a video chat.
Because she was not there, but you were where the ghost was.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she's been there.
I got it.
Jeremy, you were thinking of Lori Dorsey, the redheaded girl with the SLS camera, or it could have been Jenna and Scott were also around. So yeah, it was actually Old Paulding was pretty interesting. We went into the the tunnel room, and as we were walking in, there was a girl behind me, Vicky, and we saw somebody scoot into the side of the tunnel. So that was really cool.
I was getting a drink.
Where'd you go?
I'm right. I had to get a drink of water, but I'm back.
I hate when people eat and drink when they're on the thing.
Well, I got off camera to just have a little drink of water. So
I have to tell you,
reach it. Actually, I had to go get it. So
it is actually over 100 in this room, and I don't have air conditioning.
Oh my goodness!
So I got to make
sure. Take off your shirt, and I would not complain at all. So
well, I look like a combination of a Sasquatch and the Pillsbury Doughboy. So.
Oh my goodness! Well, I'm pretty cool here tonight in Iowa. It's not too bad. So I'd say it's been worse, a lot worse, and I don't have air conditioning. I don't like it. I just
like I say, it's 100 in this room right now, and it's
So you don't have air conditioning probably either.
I have it in the living room.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let us put it up on this side of the building because in earthquakes it may fall out and fall on people.
Oh, you have to have a window unit there.
Yeah, you can't have a window unit. Nope.
That's what we have as window units. I have a home on the river, and I can let that river breeze just come through the whole house, and I think it's better than air conditioning. So,
I can't do that because it's just so hot. I live on the second floor, and the heat just comes up.
Well, you live in the city too, don't you? Like right in the city? Yeah, I'm kind of like in the country, sort of.
Actually,
10 minutes.
I do have an old friend. I have an old friend that actually lives in Rolfe, Iowa.
In Rolfe?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure where that's at.
Me neither. I've never been there.
Probably kind of a small town, I imagine.
It's actually a girl I went out with 35 years ago.
Oh, wow. That's a while ago.
Yeah.
Well, you should check out Iowa again, because it's really a good state, and it's quite lovely here now.
Well, I used to drive through it, going from Chicago where I lived to go out to California or Denver or anywhere. So I've been
anywhere west. You hit 80.
Yeah, I was on Iowa a lot.
Yeah.
So it's nice thing. Very nice thing.
Bob's clawing
Who
me.
bit you?
Bob. Bob's sleeping here with me.
Bob's sleeping and biting here with you.
He's
No,
biting. He clawed me a little bit, but yeah.
but I will tell you, if anybody's thinking of about coming out to California for a ghost hunt, David Omen's house is a very good call. I
Ooh,
mean,
yeah, that would be fun, wouldn't it?
it's worth the money.
Yeah.
He's a little bit of a lunatic, but he's a good lunatic.
He's
Well,
I'd probably fit right in then because I'm kind of
that's why I
crazy
get along.
like that too.
That's why I get along with him because I'm a lunatic. So.
Yeah, it's like they opened the asylum and let us all out. Oh Lord in heaven! Now, M&Ms too. Are you crazy? Oh man.
I haven't had lunch or dinner yet. I'm starving.
Well, yeah, it's a little earlier out there, isn't it? Then it's like 9 o'clock. Well, it was 9 o'clock when we started.
Yeah, it's only 7:27 here.
I was sweating it because I thought, oh my God, I didn't tell him that I meant Central Standard Time, and
Yeah, you
and
did.
not
I knew
Pacific.
it. Jeremy just said David's something else. All right.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Someone come to South Carolina. South Carolina. I've never been to South Carolina. Have you, Rick?
Yeah, I did a movie in South Carolina.
Oh, what movie was that?
What the heck was the
You
name
remember?
of that? What was the name of that? Shoot. Leslie Easterbrook was in it. Kane was in it.
Was it like aliens or monsters or
No, it was more
sci-fi?
like it was more like murder and mayhem kind of.
Oh, okay. So like a thriller kind of thing, or
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Cool. I like those kind of movies. I like those movies that are like a thriller, and it's like, people more than monsters involved, some kind of like mystery or,
Well, Robin,
yeah.
the worst monsters are human.
I know.
I can make that into a T-shirt. The worst monsters are human.
Yeah. And that would be a good shirt, especially for these days, these times. It's just craziness, and I think it can't go on. There's something something big's gonna happen, and things will never be the same.
I will tell you, and I've been feeling this for like 5 or 6 years. There's going to be an explosion.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's going to explode into something.
So, I mean, the people are going to explode. It's not going to be like a real big boom.
Yes, I know. Oh, so it says, tell someone you see spirits, they will trip on you. Bible Belt. Yeah. In the Bible Belt. And then Jeremy says, I watched Fallen Angels last night. Needed to watch it a couple times more to fully understand the movie.
Well, I understand that.
Was that a movie that you were in, Fallen Angels?
Yeah, Kane teases me about it because the movie is that the fallen angels of the Bible, greed, gluttony, anger, sloth, all go to Mansfield prison. That's where they landed. And I played gluttony, greed. I played like 3 of them, and then I doubled 2 other people. So like I'm in just about every scene. It seems like.
Oh,
and
wow.
Kane and I sit there, and he goes, "Yeah, you should watch Rick's demo tape. It's called Fallen Angels." I do have one of the creepiest scenes in movie history, I think, because everybody that sees that movie talks about it.
Yeah.
There's a scene where I'm dressed all in black. I was doubling with another actor, and I smash down this door and I hit a guy, and he goes and lands on his back. And I come over and I get on top of him, and I take a knife and I stick it in his mouth, and I start popping his teeth out, just going.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I mean, when I saw it at the theater at the premiere, people are like going, "Oh."
Yeah.
It's pretty gruesome.
Yeah, I imagine. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Have
you ever worked with Quentin Tarantino?
No, but I used to see him at the gym all the time before he was
Oh,
famous.
really?
Yeah.
I love that guy.
Yeah. Well, he just did that movie.
Director, I just think he's just absolutely great. Who was your favorite director?
Well, the most famous guy that I've ever worked with was Clint Eastwood.
Okay. Oh my gosh, that would be so great.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy too.
Yeah.
2 friends of mine that I've done a lot of stuff with: Richard Friedman, who did Dark Wolf, and Adam Green, who did the whole Hatchet series. Which I was lucky enough to be in all 4 of them, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friends. One guy throws me off a car into barrels.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, that was
Adam
yeah.
Green had Kane chainsaw me in half through the crotch up through the head.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
How do they do something like that? I mean, how does it like the mechanics of that? I mean,
Well, the way we did it is we had a chainsaw that didn't have any teeth,
uh-huh.
right? And
Right.
they put the sound in.
Yep.
Um, and this chainsaw was custom built. It had an 8-foot blade. I mean, it was like
Uh-huh.
huge. And there was another guy behind me, Colton Dunn, and he got both of us at the same time. So
Uh-huh.
what they did, Kane can't lift people up like this.
Sure.
Nobody can,
Right.
especially 500 pounds of people and
Right.
a 80-pound chainsaw, right?
Right.
So what they actually did is they actually had a pulley system to help pull that up, and
Uh-huh.
we were on harnesses so that they could pull all three of us up at the same time.
Yep.
And boy was that
Wow.
boy was that bloody. They put blood cannons right in front of us. Right,
Uh-huh.
that's when they just explode the blood.
Yeah.
And if you ever see it, I mean, blood's flying everywhere. And me and Colton are both screaming our asses off. And this is, I cannot exaggerate this. After we had done, they had a shower where we could go get it. And whenever you had movie blood, you use Barbasol to get it off, the shaving cream.
Uh-huh.
It took me 2.5 cans of Barbasol to get where I could almost be clean. But when I got
Wow.
when I got back out, to get in the shower, and I'm
Uh-huh.
not exaggerating a little bit, every piece of my body was covered in blood. The bottom of my feet,
Wow.
everywhere. I should just
Holy
walk home
cow.
like that. That would have been cool.
That's incredible. Like every inch. Oh, the
Jerry
monster
wants
with
to
the
know.
eye hanging out.
Oh, there's that show's got a lot of, because the fallen angels are not the most handsome people in the world. You know, have I
And
ever had any speaking parts in a film? Yeah, I did one, and I got people sending me hate mail and everything else.
ah,
But, yeah,
that's weird. You got a great voice. You could do radio or something even because
well,
you got a great voice.
the old joke. I do have the face for radio. Um, I had a girl tell me at the gym. They said, you're kind of a good-looking guy. I said, really? Why is it every time I go onto a movie set they cover it in foam? I get the mask on.
I'm so great looking. Why they cover it up?
Yeah, they keep covering me up. But
That's funny.
yeah, there's that. Yes, I have a speaking part in there, Jeremy. I was a thing called "Stolen from the Suburbs," which was about a slave sex trafficking ring, and
Oh wow.
I played like the enforcer for the bad guy. And there's a scene where this one small girl is crying because the guy told her he loved her, and that's how he got her to this place. And he's getting ready to videotape her so he can sell her, right? Um, and she's crying and she won't stop crying. And the guy just turns around and he goes, Ivan. And I just walk up to her and I'm standing there and I look at her and I go, boom. And she just drops like a rock, right? And everybody's sitting there and the guy goes, hey, thanks. And I just go, walk away. And there's another scene. I don't know if you remember an actress named Sydney Sweeney. She's in a lot of stuff nowadays.
Uh-huh.
There was a scene where she runs away, right? She
Uh-huh.
gets away from us and I run her down and she's down on the ground and I grab her by her hair and I just lift her completely off the ground. I just go by her hair, right? And we didn't tell the director or the cameraman that we had rehearsed this, and I showed her how I could do it, not
Uh-huh.
pulling her hair. So what I
Uh-huh.
did is I actually had a handful of her hair, and she
Uh-huh.
put both hands up like she was fighting on my arm. So all I
Uh-huh.
had to do was
She
lift
was
my arm,
really
and yeah, she just held on, so she
right.
wasn't actually getting her hair pulled.
Right.
But when I ran over, they didn't know what was going on. I ran over, and and I just grabbed her by the hair and lifted her up and started dragging her. And then when they yelled cut, they went, ah, ah. And they go, Sydney, are you all right? She goes, practice this earlier, right? So she was a trooper.
Well, it looked real then, so that's cool,
Oh, yeah. Well, that's kind
because
of the
they
idea.
thought it was real.
Yeah. No, they certainly did. They're like, what are you doing?
Isn't it great, like the illusion that you can create with movies and stuff? It is like magic,
It is.
really, because you can make one thing look like something totally different.
Well, with the computer graphics now, the CGI
Yeah.
and stuff, you can put stuff. Um, Jeremy, the name of that movie is Stolen from the Suburbs. It's on TV.
Oh,
It was
I
a
must-
Lifetime movie. pardon my eating
Okay.
this.
Oh,
But I also got,
Stolen from the Suburbs was the movie about the white slavery and or human trafficking, right?
yeah, and I
Yeah,
was a
that's
Russian bad
actually
guy.
that's a real problem, and I kind of hope maybe it'll shed some light on that because it really is a problem, and so many kids. I think of myself, I was a pretty little girl, and my mother didn't pay attention, and I would wander around in Clinton, Iowa, and it's just lucky it was Clinton, Iowa back in the 60s or whatever, or I probably would have ended up as a, poster child. So, but yeah, it's scary. And I feel for those kids and those girls, especially,
Yeah,
and so, yeah, hopefully it'll shed some light on that. But anyway, I wanted to ask you, you're going to Scotland soon.
I am, but I need
Are
to
you getting
answer.
excited?
I need to answer Jeremy. Yes, Jeremy. They
Oh,
also
I'm sorry.
released the movie from It's also stolen from Suburbia.
Oh,
They released
Suburbia.
it
Okay.
with both names. Scotland. I'm so excited. See,
Scotland.
I got my Scottish tartan on.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
What was it Scottish, eh? So you're
Yeah.
Scotland. Going to Scotland then.
Yeah, I love Scotland.
Yeah.
The people there are fantastic.
Oh,
When you go,
Bob. Bob fell off the bed.
yeah,
He was
wino.
sleeping.
Bob's a little wino. He'd fallen off the bed.
Yeah, he did. He was asleep and he fell off the bed. That's funny.
No, I'm really looking forward to this tour. That I'm, one of the hosts of the tour,
Uh-huh.
and a lot of really talented ghost hunting people. I mean, people that if you knew Ghost Hunting World, that had produced some of the really big shows in ghost hunting,
Yeah.
they're coming.
Well,
And a lot of people I ghost hunt with.
Name drop.
No, I will not.
Oh. Darn it.
Hey, people that deserve their privacy.
Oh, I suppose.
But yeah, we're going to have some pretty good people over there to ghost hunt. And I'm also, I don't know if you know this or not, I'm a member of Scottish Paranormal, which is a phenomenal ghost hunting show, ghost hunting team. Mm-hmm. And I'm also in their Hall of Fame. So that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Let me pat myself.
You are actually Scottish, right?
I am Scottish.
Yeah. I am a little. I have a little bit of Scottish there. German, Swedish, Scottish, Irish, and English.
Wow, you're a mutt.
I got all the accents as well.
I can't do any of them.
Oh, I could do them all, especially English. I could go to England and just be English and never come home and just go on like this forever.
Well, I will say you would come home after you watch their TV. Ugh.
That bad, huh?
The shows are, oh God, this is terrible.
Well, I think they're just their sense of humor is much different than ours.
Yes, they don't have one.
They have an oddly skewed sense of
Although
humor.
Monty Python was pretty damn funny.
Python was funny, and I still laugh at that stuff, like them using the coconuts, to go. And
you don't even have a horse. Yes, I do. No, you just cracking coconuts together, making the sound of a horse.
Run away! And
run away faster!
The bunny, or the killer bunny. Oh, that was so funny.
That is my favorite scene of all that is when
a flesh wound.
You remember when? Yeah, his arms are off. There's a flesh wound.
Bleeding out, Yeah.
The one part of that I loved the best was the search for the Holy Grail when Sir Gawain goes into the school or whatever it is for girls between the ages of 16 and 21, and they've never seen a man, and he comes in and they're all over him. Oh, I want him first. And all the other knights run in. We'll save you, Sir Gawain. And he jumps out and he's fighting his own knights.
Don't save me.
Actually, one of the guys from Monty Python actually goes to the market down here.
Oh,
and
really?
I can't remember which one. I think it's Eric Idle, but I'm not sure.
Oh my God! Are you kidding me?
No,
he's
whichever one has the dark hair.
Well, I couldn't tell you which one, but for sure yeah, I can't think of names right off the top of my head. But those guys are great, and I'll remember those shows forever. We watched them when we were teenagers. Like reruns. Because we used to watch Saturday Night Live too, back in the late 70s, early 80s.
I used to love Land Shark.
Oh, Land Shark. Oh yeah, Candy Graham. What?
Candy Graham. I already know that. Pizza. The way it was changed to something else.
Yeah, that was pretty funny, and yeah, they just did so many characters that were just such a hoot. And Gilda Radner, she is still missed, and John Belushi, and they were just great. And the one that gets me the most is Chris Farley. Chris Farley did what he called the Chris Farley Show, and he interviewed like Paul McCartney and just some really big names, and he was always like a bit self-conscious, and he would ask questions, and then like he'd go, "Oh man, that was a stupid question. Why did I ask that question?" And he'd get all over himself. They'd be like, "No, that's okay." He'd be like, "Okay," and then he'd ask another question, and they'd answer, and he'd be like, "That's really cool," because he was just so starstruck. And sometimes I feel like that, I think about Chris Farley, and I'm kind of starstruck sometimes.
What's really funny is I know a lot of celebrities because I've been here for a long time. I live in the area where they are. They go to my gym. I've been on movies with them, and I know a lot of them.
Yeah.
And it's just like, hi, Bob. I mean, matter of fact, a friend of mine, Bo Hopkins, who's a fairly well-known actor, just passed away not too long ago, like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, that's sad.
So it's kind of sad.
Mm-hmm.
He was actually, if you ever saw American Graffiti, he was the guy always challenging Harrison Ford to a drag race.
Oh yeah.
And he was also in. He was also in. What was it? The one movie where everybody was getting killed. There was Ernest Borgnine and Robert Ryan. It was The Wild Bunch.
Oh, okay.
He was in that. He was in a lot of stuff. Really, really nice guy.
Yeah.
And I think he was from South Carolina or North Carolina.
Oh, the Carolinas, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want you to come visit them in South Carolina.
I would do that. Actually, I did a movie in North Carolina too.
And then Jeremy says, check out your website, and gives the website address. So that's good.
Jeremy.
He's hanging with us. He is totally hanging with us.
Jeremy is my buddy.
Yeah. So tell us, in Scotland, what's the places, the castles and stuff that you're going to visit?
Well, I don't really know. I know we're going to Bannockburn. We're going to a bunch of different castles. But the one that I like the best, and I've been there many times, it's called Belgoni Castle.
Belgoni?
And, yeah, I've hunted that many times, and it's
Where's
a very
it at?
cool place. It's out past Fife.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just in the middle of this big field, and it's got some gorgeous scenery. And
oh yeah, it's kind of mountainous, isn't it? And it's just like
not right there,
valleys,
right there.
and kind of.
No, not right there. That's the kind of the flat area. But if you start going up towards the highlands like Glencoe and up towards Loch Ness and stuff, you got these spectacular mountains.
Yeah, I think I lived a previous life there in the Highlands of Scotland. So.
By the way, I have to apologize to your people that are watching. The reason I'm eating the M&Ms is I get low blood sugar sometimes when I don't eat. I haven't eaten lunch or dinner, so I'm just.
Oh, geez. Well, by all means, eat M&Ms all you want. I'm just jealous. I don't have any M&Ms.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you so much.
Stick your hand up.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Just think if we can
really
invent
the only
that.
chocolate that I should be eating anyway. So I'm trying to avoid stuff like that because COVID was kind of an inactive time for me. Well, it wasn't, and I baked a lot because I do enjoy baking. I make special baked goods,
Nice.
if you know what I mean.
I know
Anyway.
what you mean.
Yeah. So, well, you live in California. I figured you did. You should.
Actually,
you can get a medical card out there.
not my deal. Not my deal. I'm loopy enough without helping. You know, I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I haven't had a date.
That's the thing. I don't even really look at it. I look at it as medication because I have fibromyalgia, and it really does make things different for me. It's the difference between getting things done and not hardly being able to move. So it's for me, it's been really like a godsend. So, but when he says, when dad's blood sugar gets low, He takes 3 sugar packets straight up, followed by a glass of apple juice. Well, that'll get you going.
Jeremy's dad is hardcore.
Yeah, yeah. I bet he is. I bet he is like tough as nails kind of guy. That he's straight up kind of guy, but he could be.
I will tell you that there's this girl that lives below me, and she's a really, really sweet girl. Matter of fact, I tell everybody, I said, yeah, the nice girl that lives below me, that's like her whole name,
Oh,
But she does costuming. She's also a stunt girl. She does voiceover. She does all kinds of stuff. And really nice girl.
Yeah.
And when she first moved in, she came up and she brought me chocolate chip cookies. And the next time she brought up something else. Today she brought me this thing with it was like a brownie with and cake. It was spectacular. But I had her cut the sleeves off this shirt and another shirt.
Yeah.
And the first time that I met her,
scissors.
well, no, I mean she sews it back up so it stays and everything else. She's like legit. She makes legit. No, she makes like cosplay stuff, and she makes like the uniforms for guys in the WWE. So she's the real deal. So the first day I met her, she came in and she's sitting on my couch, and she says, I make cosplay stuff. She says, do you think you ever need that? And I said, no, I've got a Cinderella dress I like to wear on Saturday, so I'm good, right? And she just sits there and looks at me. She goes, no judgments.
Yeah, no, not at all. Well, I know lots of guys that like to wear, women's things out and about. So
I would look adorable.
Here.
No, I mean I would look adorable. Gray goatee, 6'4", 250 pounds,
and dressed as Cinderella.
Yeah, that would.
It's all about what makes you feel good inside. If it makes you feel good inside,
I will tell you what makes me feel good inside.
To be a pretty princess, it's okay.
Well, the problem is, even if I was into that, I'm allergic to everything but cotton.
Oh, okay. So it'll have to be made of cotton, which would
so that's why anybody that sees me, when they see me walking around and I look like an unmade bed, that's why I have to wear just cotton.
Gotcha.
Do
you get itchy, or what happens if you wear something
terrible.
else?
My eyes start watering. I itch all over the place.
Oh wow, really bad. That's kind of tough, and at times. Of course, you live in California, where you don't.
But you know what? It's kind of depressing. You'll go to a store and you'll see something you really like, and polyester,
right? Or rayon, or silk, or wool, whatever you got. Oh no, wool! I can't even do wool. Wool will make me itch. So,
I'll tell you, it's a tough thing.
It is tough. Can you imagine if you had to wear wool and that was the only fabric that you had, and it was just like, here you go. Oh my God, itch fest.
Well, here's one of the big problems. If I had a girlfriend, she'd have to wear all cotton too, or I couldn't hug her.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's wow.
Well,
that'd be a real commitment then,
Well, she would have a real good safety net. Look what I just bought. Isn't that 100% polyester? Well, yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
Well, there's stuff people don't realize. Like when I was just staying in Old Paulding Jail, we slept overnight in the jail.
Oh, yeah.
And they had a real nice room. I mean, it had 3 beds in it and stuff like that. But whenever I stay somewhere, I always have to make sure the sheets and everything are all cotton.
100% cotton, yeah.
Yeah, or I got to sleep in a chair somewhere.
Wow. That would kind of stink, to like go on vacation and go, oh, I can't even sleep in the bed.
Yeah. Well, you know what I usually do? I just turn the damn bed over and sleep on the mattress.
Well, that'll work too.
Take some cotton towels out of there, make my own bed up.
Oh yeah, there you go. The cotton towels. Yeah, you could cover the bed with the cotton towels. Good.
But we were talking about Scotland. I'll tell you why I love Scotland. Scotland, the people there are so nice. They're stupid nice.
Yeah. Well, that's what you said. You got to go stay at like someone's house, and had never met you or anything, and they were just like, "Yeah, sure, come stay at my house."
Yeah, I should tell whoever's listening. Looks like Jeremy and Charlie. Hi, guys.
Yeah, Charles. And he said he laughs at most haunted, and then Jeremy was talking about the I don't know what the heck that was. Talking about his dad's blood sugar. So that was the last 2.
Yeah, I can see what they're saying. I've got it open over here.
Oh, you got okay. Well, I was posting them, I guess, just because I knew how. Yay.
Yeah, but the thing about over there, I should relay that story again. I got to know a lot of people, and
Uh,
the hotel people. So
yeah.
I thought I was, yeah, he's not kidding. It was really hot in there.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh my.
but anyway, I got to know a lot of the people at the different hotels. So I got
Uh-huh.
kind of big headed. Usually I would map out and get my rooms for the whole month.
Uh-huh.
This time I said, well, I'll just get 4 days. I know I can go out to the Roslyn Chapel guest house, stay there a few days and then go somewhere else. And
Uh-huh.
I get there and I've been there 2 days and I go out to the Chapel guest house, which is right across the street from Roslyn Chapel.
Uh-huh.
And I walk in and Amy, the lady who owns the place, is coming out of the back office. And I said, hey, Amy, I want a room, for this weekend. And she goes, oh, I'm sorry, we're all booked up. And I was like, what? Because there's been many times I was the only person in the inn, right?
Oh wow.
And she looks at me, she goes, you don't know what's going on, do you? And I looked at her, I said, that's very frequently the case, Amy. Yeah. So she told me they were having the European Rugby Championships. And she said she had
Oh.
just looked at the master hotel list. She says
Uh-huh.
there was not a single room between Edinburgh and Glasgow.
Wow.
So I said, can you think of anybody else? She goes, well, there's a lady named Carolyn not too far from here, and she has a small place. You might try her. So I called her up. She goes, no, honey. She says, we just remodeled and we're fully booked up. And I went, oh, dang it.
Yeah.
And I guess she heard the way something in my voice. She goes, what's the matter? I said, save up all year so I can come here for 3 weeks to a month. I said, and been here for 2 days, and it looks like 2 days from now I'm going to have to get an airplane and go home.
Oh,
And she goes, can I call you back? Yeah, she goes, can I call you back? Now, people listening, I've never met this woman, right? She calls me back and she goes, I don't know if you'd be interested in it, but my mom was going to visit her sister in England for 10 days, and she said you can use her house. I was like, what? And then she goes, I said, how much does she want? She goes, oh, don't you dare offer her money. She'll get mad. And I'm like, who are these people? They're going to kill me and eat me. I know they are. Nobody's this nice.
Well, you don't know what's in haggis for sure. So
no, I've had haggis one time and I almost beat up the guy who gave it to me.
really?
I mean, oh God, that stuff's terrible. No wonder the Scottish were always fight with everybody because they had to eat haggis. It's like the best way to describe it is it's like dirt with extra dirt on it. I mean, it's just it's awful.
That's terrible. Yeah.
A friend of mine used to be the manager of the Real Mary King's Close, which is a very famous ghost hunting place.
Yeah.
And I used to stop in there because it had a restaurant and a gift shop and everything else.
Yeah.
And they had really good tomato soup and sandwiches. And I got to become friends with him. And he says, mate, I gotta buy you. He says, you're always getting the tomato soup and the cheese sandwich. I said, yeah. I like it. He says, I'm going to get you a Scottish lunch so you can tell everybody.
Oh no.
And it was haggis and black pudding. And
yuck. Oh,
there's only one thing
they make black pudding out of.
There's only one thing that might be worse than haggis, and it's black pudding.
Yeah.
So after I ate it, he goes, what do you think? And I looked at him, I said, Craig, I don't know how, and I don't know when, but I am going to get you for this.
Yeah. Right? I think the only thing that would maybe make up for it is if you had a big, huge pint of stout, that you could.
Yeah, but I don't drink, so I can't fire down some stuff. So,
well, I think isn't that a requirement though in in Europe or like at least Scotland, England, Ireland, places like that. You have to drink.
You have to pretend you like beer.
They drink a lot of whiskey, I know, in Scotland.
Oh, they do. They do. They drink a lot of beer in Scotland too.
Yeah.
But the other thing that's really nice about the Scottish people.
Yeah.
If I'm walking along here in the United States and I see a pretty girl coming towards me and I walk up and say, excuse me, can I ask you a question? And I'll get this.
Well, but you live in California as well.
Get nothing but attitude, right? But I was walking along in Scotland. I was trying to find this one place and I was kind of lost. And I see this real pretty girl coming towards me. And I stopped her and said, excuse me, can I ask you a question? She goes, sure. And I went, I'm lost. I'm from the United States. I said, I have no idea. I'm trying to get here. And she looks at me. She goes, oh, it's simple. She says, you go down this street here. You'll see a man sitting at a table drinking a pint. It's McGinty. You take a left at McGinty, right? Take a left at McGinty. She says, you'll see a man with a carriage hat and a top hat and a carriage horse. Wait a minute. He might be out with the horse. Come on. I'll take you. I mean, that's the way they are. They take you. Yeah, they're just.
Yeah, I used to drive a horse and carriage for 12 years. I drove a horse and carriage.
Boy, you must have gone a long way. Or you
Yeah.
stopped once in a while, right? And that
Well,
just
yeah.
okay.
Not straight. Yeah. I no. But I did a lot of. I was called the parade princess. I did so many parades.
Nice. The
Yeah,
doctor.
that was a
doc-
fun job. Really fun job. But yeah, it's nice that when people are that friendly, and they're kind of like that here in Iowa. I mean, people are friendly, or I think on the West Coast, you go to California and they just really don't care about any of that. Come on, you're bothering me now.
Whatever.
Whatever, I'm sure. God.
Yeah.
Really? Really? You're asking me for directions? Come on.
It was really cool. I did a movie in Australia. Kane and I did a
Uh-huh.
movie over there called Charlie's Farm.
Uh-huh.
And I just remember the name of that other movie that we did in South Carolina. It was called, what? That wasn't it either. Damn it. Oh, well. I was thinking it was Old 37, but that was up in the Hamptons.
Uh-huh. Oh, in the Hamptons. So you've been in the Hamptons then.
Well, we were there just around between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Okay.
None of the famous people were there.
No, no.
It was colder than
then.
it was like sitting on an iceberg. It was freezing.
Yeah.
We were outside.
That's a summer place. The Hamptons are a summer place.
Kane and I did a stunt. Do you ever see the movie Footloose?
Yes, I have.
You remember when Laurie Singer stood between the two cars as they were driving?
Uh-huh.
Kind of a famous scene. Well, they did that going on a flat straightaway and not really fast.
Uh-huh.
Well, Kane and I recreated that going 42 miles an hour around curves.
Oh my goodness.
And it was really cool. We never bumped cars once, but
holy crap.
I was
Did
in a
you get convertible. It on film?
Yeah, it's on film. It's in Old 37 is the name of the movie.
Okay.
Which is actually pretty creepy freaking movie. Bill Moseley's in it. Kane's in it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's a pretty good movie.
What's the storyline with that one?
Storyline is that this one guy who had a ambulance, number 37, he would beat the county ambulances to the thing, and then he would take these people back home and just rip them to shreds.
Ooh.
He was a serial killer.
Oh, boy.
And then he passed it on to his kids, and Kane and Mosley are the two sons. Mm-hmm. So it's a creepy movie. There's one scene in there that almost makes you cry where Kane is supposed to be a little slow, and he's huge, and he's got the mask on, and Bill Mosley's teasing the hell out of him, making him do the chicken dance. And it's so sad when you see, if you ever see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. But it's a really good movie. Really is.
I was thinking, I'll admit I have not watched television or movies at all in like 3 years. I just stopped doing it because it was taking up too much time, and I just I wasn't getting active. I wasn't doing, I wasn't living life. I was sitting around watching TV. And so I got away from it, and I haven't really got back to it since. And I have restless legs, so it's hard for me to sit still for 2.5 hours.
I get that at night when I'm trying to sleep.
Yeah, and I get it at night worse when I'm trying to sleep, but I'll even get it on car rides, or sometimes just even sitting trying to do stuff on the computer. An hour is sometimes hard, even like to do the podcast. Sometimes I want to get up and walk around, but I can't.
Well, I look like a Bruce Lee movie over there. My feet are going. I just need to put some sound effects in there, and I got it covered.
It's pretty terrible sometimes when you can't sleep, and I'd go for days sometimes, and I couldn't sleep at all. And then I found this old doctor who gave me this medication. It's actually for Parkinson's patients. It stops tremors. And I'll tell you what, that stuff works like a dream. It was like night and day, like being able to control it and not being able to control it. I don't like to take the medication because it makes me sleepy. So unless I'm going to bed, I don't take it. So all day long, I'll have these little episodes, but at least I found a way I can get some rest because my mind was not going great. It just, when you don't sleep, it makes you crazy.
Well, I've got really bad knees. I've had 5 knee operations on one, and now I need a knee replacement. So It's
Oh
really
boy.
hard for me to get up out of chairs and go
Yeah.
downstairs and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And I was telling somebody the other day, and they said, what's the hardest part about having the sore knees? I said, when you wake up, you really have to get to the bathroom, and it's going to take you 2 minutes to stand up and get your legs working, and you're kind of
Yeah.
going. Finally, you go across the
Yeah. They're probably better like if you're like up and going and doing stuff than
Oh
if
yeah,
you
I can walk miles. I can walk 10
yeah.
miles,
But then
but
you sit for 10 minutes and
they lock up.
yeah.
You try and get up,
Yeah.
you're like, ugh, ugh, ugh.
Hmm. Yeah, I've been there with like that too. Like mine's like my hip.
You
But
see what
yeah.
Jeremy said on the bottom?
Let's see. He said, great super. Oh, everybody being so nice to him is your superpower.
It
So,
really is. Just
yeah.
like, that's in my book. That's
Uh-huh.
That's the first thing I said. I only have one superpower,
Yeah.
and it's people are really nice to me. I mean, lady gave me her house for 10 days for free.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
You know,
incredible sometimes. And sometimes, it is just incredible the niceness of people. And I've been the recipient of a lot of nice things from people and just really, sincere people who wanted to just be nice to someone else, and it's just wonderful when that happens.
I've had so many people do stuff for me, and you
Yeah.
know what's so strange too is that I don't know how this works, but things come to me when I'm
Yes.
thinking about them.
Yes.
I was giving away my Forerunner to Salvation Army,
Yeah.
and I had real nice mags on it, so I had wheel locks.
Yeah.
And I thought, I can't give this away without them having the wheel lock, to unlock it. I mean, they get a
Yeah.
flat. What are they going to do?
Right.
So I said, you know what? I know I put it in the little toolkit. Now the toolkit's just like flat piece of paper. It's got little pouches where you can put tools in.
Right.
And you roll it up, and it's about this big. I mean, it's not. Oops, about this big. Not very big.
Yeah.
So I went out there, and they were coming like in an hour, and I unrolled the toolkit because I knew I put it in there.
Yeah.
And there's nothing there. I took the tools out, rubbed it flat, checked each tool again, put them in, rolled it up. And I went, yeah, what am I going to do? So I just stood there by my car for a second, and I just went, I'm trying to do something good. I give them the car away, and I can't give it away until I can find those wheel locks, right? So I went, look again, and I opened it up, and when I unrolled it, the wheel lock was sitting dead center in the middle.
Oh.
And the thing is like this big. I couldn't have missed it.
Yeah.
The other one that's kind of funny.
It's called manifestation, and if you stick around for just a minute, I'll tell you all about it. Hang on. I gotta say goodnight though. We gotta say goodnight to everyone, Rick. And I'm sad about it because I could have visited for a lot longer. But you stick around, but I'm going to say goodbye to everyone else and get us off the air so that another show can come on. So I think someone does follow us up tonight. So, but it's been great talking to you, and it's been great seeing all of you folks out there in the audience. And keep watching, keep coming back, and much love to everyone. Blessed be.
See you, everybody.